Shall I start?
Yes.
What's up, guys? Welcome to MAViSMITH Podcast Episode 3. This, just a forewarning, we will tell you that this is a pre-recording, as we won't be able to stream live on Monday night this week. But this will be streaming live on a Monday, but we are actually currently not live, so any questions or comments that are in the Twitch chat, unfortunately we will not be able to answer. However, I will be sitting in the chat throughout the process and throughout the duration of the casting, the live casting, so therefore I can answer your questions in the chat itself. So this week we've got myself, George, GFA.
Yeah, and Matt, Mav.
Cool. So the MAViSMITH crew. We don't have our actor and good friend George Carr here this week. This is the second week in a row he's not here, unfortunately, because he's currently away. So it's just us two, and without further ado, let's get started. So it'd be a normal sort of setup. We'll talk about movies, TV series, games, and then sort of just general Reddit questions. And obviously we will discuss Game of Thrones. And my mic's falling down for that entire beginning piece. So even though this is pre-recorded, we have already seen it.
We had to. We had to watch the leaked one just so we could talk about it on the podcast.
Exactly.
We had to. I mean, there was no other way.
Yeah. So we will be talking about that. So when this goes live, obviously that will be released anyway, so no spoilers for anyone that's seen this week's, which will be Monday the 21st of August.
Right, should we get started?
Yeah, let's go.
So first of all, we've got to pay our respects to Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah.
So obviously he passed away, was it Friday?
Yeah, Friday. Well, it released Friday. I'm not sure if it was actually on Friday when it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, really sad. Really, really sad. As we all know, he's
over here anyways.
Yeah, in the UK, such a role model, he was such a very big part of British television. I was reading some ridiculous statistic that he started performing and doing his.
He performed at Glastonbury.
Really?
In 2015, yeah, singing.
All right.
He made a really funny joke. He went. If you're a good crowd, I'll perform for an hour. If you're a bad crowd, I'll perform for 2.
But yeah, again, it's a massive role model, and he was not acting, but he was on television doing his part as presenting and whatnot since a very young age. I believe it was 14 years old, all the way up to when he passed away when he's 89. Very good innings, very, very, very good life, and
yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I mean, as I said, he was on TV all the way up to the end. He does sort of like Strictly Club Dance and all that jazz British TV stuff that obviously you Americans won't know what that is, but just a lot of British TV, and he was a very big part of the British entertainment industry since he was young. So huge loss, very sad, but he had a very good and very long and prosperous life. So he can't really complain at the end of the day.
Number 2, we did stream Player Unknown on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was myself, GFA, Charlie, and Carr. So it was 4 of us. We streamed it. Carr had a Coke before, so he was getting a bit loopy.
Bit sugar.
But that is up on our YouTube channel now. So you can go ahead and watch that. Or was it? What did we do like the week before? Was it?
Week before
we
played
quite a few, didn't we?
Yeah, we sort of weren't sure what we were going to play. Whereas Player Unknown is quite a long-winded game. We played Overcooked, Gang Beasts, and Helldivers, 3 sort of little indie games that were multiplayer that we could all play together. And very funny. That video's up as well. And, really enjoy watching that. So it's good.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll move straight on to our movies. Well, first of all, let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I think there's a very similar theme for all my my reviews for Game of Thrones, and I think saying the following words could be said about every episode of this season, which is really good, action-packed, but rushed, very rushed. It feels like I understand why they're doing it, and I can completely agree with some things, like the travelling about being a lot quicker, like them getting from one place to another and sort of not messing about to have someone go from Winterfell to Dragonstone and that happening immediately, or the Wall. I understand in real times that's going to take potentially months to do, or weeks, if not months, to travel that distance. It's a very long distance to travel that far on horses or walking, or even I think boats are a bit quicker, but you catch the drift. It's not a short trip. But I completely understand why they're not messing about that. If they've only got 7 episodes and they're trying to spend the budget wisely and whatnot, kind of get why they're not wasting time to say, right, Jon Snow's just left Dragonstone, and then 3 episodes later we'll see him at the wall. I can understand why they're doing it all in one, just to get, because it would be breaking the immersion of that in sort of important integral storyline if you had him in one episode going, and then 3 episodes later he gets there, because by then you've sort of forgot why he went, or you're sort of like, oh god, you have to sort of bring your mind back to 3 episodes, which is 3 weeks. So I understand why they're doing it. I don't necessarily agree with how quick it's going. I feel like if the series has just started and we're already on the last episode in next week. But I've enjoyed it. I think it's been, to me, it's been my favourite series, just for visually, entertainment wise. But character development been the worst series. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like Aya, for example.
Oh, she's useless.
My favourite character up till the last 2 episodes. Since she's gone to Winterfell in this season, she has been the most boring character. The only good scene she's had in Winterfell since she got there was the fight with Brienne. Everything else has just been like, oh.
Yeah, you're just useless. So I'm really influential on kind of, I'm really influential on when I read something online, I'll be like, that's true, because I find it really hard to put my kind of how I feel into words, so that when I see it online, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I mean. And then like I know a couple of people who I used to talk to at college would get really annoyed because I'd be like, yeah, but online it said this, and I'm like, yeah, but make your own opinion. It's like, yeah, but I do have my own opinion. It's just I see that and I'm like, wait, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. And something has bugged me about this season, and I could never put my finger on what has been bugging me. And someone put it on the Game of Thrones Reddit, and it was they're leaving a lot to desire.
Yeah, they're a lot for the viewer to decide.
What you said about, it does make sense to skip out Jon travelling to the wall.
Yeah.
However, that's not what people are annoyed at. I think what they're annoyed at is the fact that Jon can get back from. It's not the time. It's not that they're skipping the parts like that out. They're like, for example, Jon. So Gendry ran back, right? Gendry ran back to the wall. Mm-hmm. Got a raven to what's it called? Dragonstone.
And she flew a dragon.
And she then flew her dragons over. Bear in mind, she couldn't fly that in real life. But okay, let's move on. She then flew straight over. All in all that time, they were just standing on that rock. It pretty much happened, not too long afterwards. And then they flew back on the dragon. He was underneath the water. And then he should have drowned because it was all that armor as well. Anyway, so then he got up, and then he got on a horse, and then rode all the way back.
Yeah,
and it's like, I think the reason it's rushed as well is because I've never cared about watching someone's journey unless there's a meaning to it. But they're just, all the parts that they're bringing up is just, is not right. So the Tyrion and Jaime scene, emotional scene, it was like 90 seconds long. Like, yeah, the episodes are entertaining, the episodes are fun to watch, but I don't want that with Game of Thrones. I want it to be an all-round good show. I mean, they've done 6 seasons that are all really good, and now they're all like coming to a close in the 7th and 8th season. When I don't want that. I want it to be. I want to be able to go, this is the best season of all time. I don't want to say it kind of dropped out of the last 2 seasons because they were rushing it. Like, I don't know why you'd rush it when it's like if Walking Dead then turned around now and they were like, okay, we've got 5 episodes left, we're going to film and get it out there. It's like, but you've built 8 years now of stuff, and then just crammed it.
Yeah, it's like being in a 15. It's like being in a marathon and then being at the last mile and trying to sprint the last mile and falling over, like stumbling over your legs because you're so tired. That's sort of what it feels like. It's
and also that, and obviously we're going to have Danny and Jon having sex in the next episode, most likely, and that'll probably be the cliffhanger. You have that happening, but we haven't seen the emotional connection between the 2 characters. All we've seen is them talk a couple times. He said, they haven't actually sat and hung out. So before she says that, I like him, she hasn't said anything to him.
Poor Jorah spent like 4 seasons building up his relationship with Daenerys. Jon spent 3 episodes, and now she's like, yeah, I want to tap that. It's gone that quick. I agree. I think that if it does feel very rushed, I think the writing just feels very lazy. As you said, it's like, oh well, then we'll have a bit where she flies the dragons. Oh, and then the Ice King will chuck her spear, and spoiler, if you haven't seen it, but we're already
Yeah,
halfway in
we're
it.
already yeah.
And kill one of the dragons, and then everyone knows he's going to resurrect it, and he does at the end of the episode. Oh, and then Jon will go in the water, so everyone's going to think he's dead, but then they'll wait at the wall and he'll cut, and Gendry will say, is it Gendry? No, Uncle Benjen. Uncle Benjen will come in and have, literally, he was in the first season, he saved Bran last season, and then he had 10 words. No, he had 3 words in this season. Jon went, Uncle Benjamin, there's no time, ride to the wall or something, and that's it, off he goes, and he's dead, and it's like...
Yeah, like, they're just...
It's late, it feels like lazy writing.
I didn't know that was it a 3-episode cut could destroy a series so much. All they've done is cut 3 episodes out, and it's literally destroyed it, it's hurt it so much, and I'm very worried, because next season's only, 4 episodes?
No, it's 7 as well. It's another 7. But I still feel like that's not enough.
But they're meant to be like feature length. They're meant to be like an hour and a half, not just an hour. But
I feel like it's not even just the 3. I don't feel like we just need 3 extra episodes. I feel like we need another entire season between this and the final season, because I thought in this season, I thought from the get go it's going to be like cut the shit. The White Walkers are going to reach the wall and cross over, and then it's going to be 2 series of trying to fight them and trying to figure out how to win and have different battles throughout all of Westeros until maybe the final stand comes in King's Landing. Right. But it's not. It's now we're on the last episode and they are still nowhere closer to passing over the wall. God knows what they've been doing. You're saying, oh, they've killed more people. How many more people are going to be left north of the wall that are alive? I can't imagine there's much left.
But
up
they
there.
can.
They have. Like, do you know what I mean? So what have they been doing? They've been sort of jacking it. And unless he knew that the dragon was going to come at some point, and that was what he was waiting for that day when the dragon came.
Well, that's what people are saying. But my argument is, what was his plan? What march towards the wall? But then what can they do? People were saying that
they're going to walk around it, aren't they? On the water.
Yeah, well, no,
freeze
but
over
people were saying that you can't. No shit. People were saying that
people were saying
I've lost my track of thought. What were people saying?
People were saying.
So he knew the dragon was coming. What? But how? They cornered themselves and they couldn't go because
everyone's saying that it's Bran. Bran is the Night King. This is like a story. Yeah. This is like a theory that's going around at the moment. And if that's the case, then he can see the future. So then he's just been waiting for it. But I swear we saw the Night King get created last episode. No, not last season when the Children of the Forest said we stabbed a guy in the heart, we created the White Walkers. I just assumed that the Night King was the first bloke that got stabbed in the heart, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's a few theories and but I've heard that he is, but I've also heard that he's trying to stop him. So he built the wall. He's Bran the Builder. He built the wall. No. That's a complete theory. He's Bran the Builder. He built the wall. He obviously didn't kill Sam Tarly, did he? But there's like a couple of other points, but he keeps stopping the White Walkers from getting everywhere. But now they have a dragon. They're fat. Surely they're fat. Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get what their plan is.
Well, what annoyed me is Bran can see the future, right? He can see what's going to happen. He can see the White Walkers marching on.
But he keeps saying that he's the key to stopping it all.
He said, why didn't he warn Jon about when he goes north the wall that he's going to almost drown, all that shit, and he's going to be caught off dragons,
and Uncle
Benjen's going to save him, and poor what's his name's going to die, the Lord of the Light. Or why did Bran not say, I'll fly with ravens?
The Hound got bit, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw that. But then I was saying, does that even make a difference? Because so when we had what was it called, the episode, the really cool episode, Hard Home. In that episode, you saw a really awesome new wildling woman that you thought was going to be a cool character, and then she died immediately to the kids.
Yeah.
You saw her sort of get bitten and killed, but I don't think getting bitten has any effect on anyone, because I don't think we've seen that at any point throughout the series where someone's been bitten and turned like a zombie. I think what happens is they bite you till you die, and they literally rip your throat out, rip your face off, and that's why they have all like the pieces falling off their face until you're dead. And then when you're dead, the Night King can revive you, and that's why in Hard Home, when that woman got killed by the kids, she came back. You saw her come back as a White Walker. It wasn't because she was bitten and then just like a zombie, where they turn you into a zombie by biting you. I think it was literally they bit her until she bled out and died, and then he revived her corpse. Because that's why they have to burn the corpses, because he can reanimate any corpse, hence the dragon and whatnot. In this episode, That's why they burn the corpses. So I don't think I was thinking that when the hound got bitten, I was like, oh shit. But then I thought, nah, it doesn't mean anything. But then I thought, why would the director have that bit where he got bitten and he makes a big point of it, bringing it up to the camera, like, oh, my hand is, you know what I mean? So maybe there's more to that than meets the eye. But I don't know. I think.
What do you reckon the cliffhanger is going to be?
I honestly think it'll be the White Walkers crossing the wall. I think it'll be what's that place called? Castle? No, Eastwatch. Eastwatch will be the castle at Eastwatch where they are now. John and that will jump. They're on a boat now, aren't they? They'll jump on a boat back to Dragonstone. No, they're going to King's Landing, to show Cersei the White Walker. So while that's all going on, they'll reach the wall with the dragon and their army.
But so the wall was put up with a spell that it can't come down, and that's why they can't walk around it. There's a spell put up that you can't get past.
Yeah.
By Bran the Builder, and there's a spell that you can't. But how are they going to bring down the spell?
In the last season with when they're at the tree with the three-eyed raven, the OG three-eyed raven, didn't he see him and grab him by the arm? And then the guy said, "You've let them in." And then obviously they walked across the spell that was protecting the tree. And they could walk through the fire and all that. They could walk past because that was spell protected as well.
Yeah, but
so maybe I think Bran fucked it basically.
But he can see the future, so wouldn't he just not go?
There's a lot of.
I don't see how it all works.
No, and people are saying if you watch the intro, the bit where it pans around at Eastwatch, you can see round the corner of Eastwatch, around the wall. It's actually all frozen now. And if you go back to the earlier seasons, it wasn't like that because that's just
people have said that, and it's not going to be that anticlimactic. That wall is what I thought the cliffhanger is going to be
the dragon. They weren't. Maybe the wall's only protected.
Yeah. Well, no, but then I always thought, why not just put the White Walkers in the lift and take it up to the top? Could they not do that? Is that a spell that stops that? I don't know. Anyway, I think the cliffhanger is going to be they're on a boat to King's Landing. John and Dany sleep together, and then while they're sleeping together, the wall falls. And I reckon that's going to be the finale. Is the wall? The wall coming down?
Yeah, right at the end.
As soon as he pulled the javelin, I was like, that dragon's going down.
Yeah, was. I think that was so obvious. Yeah. That's what I mean by lazy script writing. It wasn't like a surprise. It was like, and what? Right? Why did? So Daenerys is sitting right in front of him on a dragon, stationary on the ground. Can't move. The dragon
He went for the biggest one. He went for Reagan.
No, it was called Visconti or something when I was looking online. Begins with a V.
Oh, Viserys.
But I thought
No, he goes for the biggest one but misses and gets the medium. He misses the one he goes for. Because two are flying like this. He throws it at that one.
He gets the green one.
But it. Should we quickly watch it?
Yeah, because I was thinking the one that she uses the most, Drogo or whatever his name is, the dragon that she uses the most, is her main dragon. She's sitting right in front of him. That's a guaranteed kill. But he goes he goes skeet shooting and goes for the one flying circles around him. I just don't get why he went for that. So we're watching it now.
Viserion.
I'm pretty sure he gets the one he goes for.
I thought he missed the one he was going for.
No, but he gets the one he's going for. And she's sitting completely stationary, like, yo, what's up? And he could have just killed that one. I'm pretty sure that's the biggest one. That's why she rides it, because it's like her biggest, strongest one.
And also, there was absolutely no emotion in the freaking scene, was there? Like,
there was more emotion afterwards with Dany and Jon Snow, and he was.
It was really cringy when he was like Dany. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and she was, and then. They did that so he can say, well, I won't call you that then, I'll call you my queen. That was the only reason they had that, and I was like, that's what I mean. It feels like they should have had an entire season building up their relationship and their connection.
Yeah, it has, and it literally has
just been 3 episodes and he's calling her Dany already.
But we haven't seen him like even like a 3-minute dinner scene where they're sitting down having dinner and they're just like having like small banter, like
you could literally sum up their entire dialogue in about 30 seconds. It's like, hi, I'm Jon Snow, King of the North. Oh, I'm Daenerys, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Bend the knee. No. Bend the knee. No. Why not? My people won't bend the knee. You have to fight the walkers. Why would I do that? I've got a war with Cersei. Fuck off. Okay.
She had to see it. She had to.
Oh, yeah. But then it's like, oh, can I mind the dragon glass? Tyrion's convinced me to. Yeah, I'll let you mind the dragon glass. And then that's their two like times they talk at the beginning.
John
takes her into the cave
of
love. John
pulls the good old cave sex.
The good
but
old.
It doesn't go that far.
Yeah,
anyway.
John pulls the good old dip your hand into the popcorn and see what you find, and like it's like, oh yeah, drawings of stick people on the wall. Obviously, he just did that himself.
There's a really funny like drawn picture in it. John's like walking around and like Davos saying, "Slowly, John. I'm like he said, slowly, John. I'm not ready." And then he's drawing like a picture
with some crayons.
Yeah,
and then it's like, okay, I believe you now. And then it's like, then she goes off and fights Jamie. And then she comes back and he strokes the dragon. She's like, oh shit, he's stroking my dragon. And then it's the episode we just had. It's literally, there's been 5 chats, and the 5th one is literally them holding hands, him laying there and bending the knee. Well, theoretically, you know, it's like that feels like that meeting between those two characters, these two huge, hard-hitting characters, main characters, has been wanted by the fans and by the you know, by George R. R. Martin, has been sort of set up since season 1.
Yeah.
You know, years and years people have been waiting for this moment, and it's like, oh hi, I'm Daenerys. Oh hi, I'm Jon. Okay, let's have 5 episodes of very little talking, and then we'll become lovers.
What else didn't I like about the episode? Oh, the polar bear was cool.
That scared me.
That was.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we're bitching a lot about it. I'm still loving the series. I'm enjoying it. I can't.
But it's difficult. I don't want to. But this is what I would much rather wait an extra year and get a full 10 episode. You know.
I'd rather wait an extra year until it finishes. I'm in no rush. I'd rather them come out and say, actually, we're going to do another series, and that'll be the final one, rather than, we've got 7 more episodes.
It is a good series, but you can only have so many bad things. So they've got bad pacing, in both terms of rushing and how fast they get to places now. It's just incredible, because it does make sense to just cut it out, but they're not. So after all this is going on, you're telling me that the Unsullied people are just sitting there like checking themselves off, like while
can't do that.
They can't. Yeah. Well, while Euron just stands there like watching them, so they can't leave. But what are they going to do? What the hell are Euron going to do for food? They're on boats. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, so that's all going on, and Danny's lost the dragon, and he's just sitting there like they go to bed every morning and wake up and they're like, they're still there. Let's just wait a bit longer. So the pacing's incredibly wrong. There are a few, plot holes. Sorry. Doesn't make any sense to why, like in my honest opinion, if I was Daenerys and I saw 4 people on horses, well, first of all, Jon should have said there's White Walkers and then there's 4 people on horses, like the 4 horsemen. She should have seen those and gone, let's kill them first. Why would she go for the little people? Because they were easily defending at the moment. Just take out the 4 people, the 4 people on horses, the 4 big people, take them out. Down and dusted.
Yeah, if she had thrown over and that first attack just gone blah on all the 4 main guys, jobs are good and good night Rose, the end of the White Walkers. But at the same time, you say that it's a show. They can't just have it end like that. But it annoys you because you should never get to a situation where the writing's that bad where you can question that moment.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones has never been. I've never said like, oh, but it's a show. Like Walking Dead makes so many mistakes. You just at the end of the day, you have to just say, oh, it's a show.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones has been consistently good throughout the entire show. That now you're just a bit like, well, I don't want to rush it. I want to.
No, the entire series has felt like a marathon. It felt like this slow-paced, in-depth, grueling storytelling phenomenon of our era, where people are just like. This really fantastic storyline and character development and this visually beautiful show, and just like the script was so rich in all the way they described everything, and then obviously the adaptation from George R. R. Martin book, and then you have this season just felt like someone stood there, and from the second the theme started on episode 1 of this season, well the theme didn't even start. You had the whole part of Io first of all. And it feels like someone standing there on the sideline with a little, a starter pistol, and they've gone bang, and then it's a sprint to the finish. And I don't know why they've done it. I can't think in my head of one reason why they've gone right. This has to be the last season, or next season's the last season. We want to get it done this quickly, and we're going to have it in less episodes. I can understand less episodes for the budget because you can clearly see the budget is higher in every episode so far. We've had huge battles, all the dragons, and lots of death and stuff. No important characters have died really, other than obviously we've had the Tyrells, the Tardis are pretty much gone, but no like big character deaths. We've gone, oh no, he was like a cool character, other than poor what's his name, the one that got done in by the polar bear.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Oh. Paul who?
No, I didn't say poor anyone.
Who did you say?
The poor guy that died with the polar bear guy, the Thoros, or his name is. And Tormund, poor Tormund, the wildling guy, the ginger wildling guy, he was on the floor for about 5 minutes.
He should have died. And that's what I hate. That one of my biggest problems with shows. Walking Dead does it every single day.
Walking Dead's the worst.
Plot armor it shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't have someone almost die 20 times. If someone's put in that position, or if you want to make it look like someone's killed, don't make it so obvious that he should have died. He's on the floor for, like, as you said, 5 minutes. Right, come on, like put him on the floor for like 10 seconds and then grab him up. But don't leave him there for 5. Like, we get it. We get he's a badass wildling, but he's just laying on the floor for.
Well, he wasn't even that bad. He didn't even have a gun. He was just shouting the words "help me" over and over again whilst he's on the floor. But it's the same thing as what I felt like with Bronn with last episode when he was doing the Jack Sparrow run from the dragon. I kept saying it in that episode. I was like, this just Bronn.
Oh,
To save Jamie.
Not for the Bronn.
The whole when he was running through all the fire and surviving. I felt like it was just, as you said, it was he had like main character syndrome. It was what I refer to it as. Is just because he's a big character.
I thought that was him surviving because he's running and scared and he's just a survivor, and because obviously if he pulled a sword up to fight he'd die, but he's not. He's like kind of cowering out a bit. I thought it was that, and then
well, no, I did see it as that, but I felt like it was silly to do it in that respect. I'd rather have seen him run off and flee the battlefield and survive on horseback, and then turn back like, oh shit, I can't leave. You know, like he was torn between his decision of does he do it for himself or does he stay. And then he comes back, jumps on the gun, and then does the whole thing with the dragon. Rather than I'm going to run through a battlefield with thousands of Dothraki and a dragon and be completely unscathed, other than one guy that's chasing me. It just felt really cliche. It didn't feel like it just felt like lazy writing. And I hate saying that because I love Game of Thrones and I think it's been perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's been a solid 9.9 out of 10 from get go until these last couple of this season. Bits of this season, it's just been really, and like the whole thing with Nymeria, we're even going throw back to episode 2 or 3, whatever it was, when I saw a wolf again, Nymeria, whatever's bloody cool.
Yeah. Don't get me started on fucking Arya, like really.
That character has been built up.
Just wasted. There's nothing else to say on it. It's just a wasted character.
Anyway, I feel like we've been dicking on Game of Thrones too much. As
we both said, it is enjoyable.
I'm loving it.
It's not what I wanted from Game of Thrones. But like, that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. I do like it, but I wanted more.
I'll still watch it. The only show so far, in my eyes, now this has happened to Game of Thrones, that has stayed strong from, or has got better and better and hasn't failed. Breaking Bad.
Nah,
bro.
After rewatching it, I just after rewatching it, I was just like, I thought it was cool, but I don't know. It's just something there's something odd I don't like about it, but I just don't know. What it's
in how it ended, or
just
the last
the show
season?
itself. I don't know why. I think it's too acclaimed. I feel like it's people just
overrated.
Yeah, sorry, not acclaimed. I think it's too overrated. I think it is good. I wouldn't say it's the best show, but then I don't know what is the best show.
I don't think the thing these days. I don't think there's no such thing as the best show anymore.
Wait, hold up. No, Fargo season. That's TV. Fargo season 1 was good.
Yeah, but if it's about
Ozark is probably the best show I've watched this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
I like the OA was good until the last episode. That's when that was.
What's it about?
The OA. So we'll move off of Game of Thrones now. The OA is about this. It's basically there's this girl. It starts off and she sort of comes back home, and she's been missing. She's been missing for I don't know. I can't remember the timescales. I watched it about a year ago, but she's been missing for a long time.
Yeah.
And she gets found, and she won't talk. She won't tell anyone where she's been. She's a bit messed up.
That is literally like the BBC drama The Missing. Did you ever watch that?
No.
It was quite good. It's a BBC drama. It was like 6 episodes long. She comes back. She's been like, she got taken. She got abducted, and she's now back, and she's not talking. Or sorry.
Yeah. Well, it might be. I don't know if it's very similar, but this turns really weird. So it starts off like she's been missing. Everyone's like, "What's happened?" And then she keeps talking about this guy called Jacob, but you don't know who he is. All this kind of stuff. And blah blah blah. I'll try not to ruin too much of the main bits of the storyline, but she basically talks about this spiritual meditation that she learned, where she can like open doorways into different dimensions, and it gets really weird. And then it's all about her trying to get back to where she was while she was missing. Again, I'll try not to ruin that bit. But where she was while she was missing, she wants to try and get back there to save the people that she left behind when she escaped. So
it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's honestly a really good show. It starts off a bit weird, gets a lot better, really, really enjoyable. Acting's good, the storyline's good, the writing's brilliant. Visually, it's beautiful. Very much like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is probably one of my favourite shows actually that I've watched in the last 2 years. Very similar to that. It's got quite weird, mysterious. That's the word I meant. I'll cut the rest of that out. But very mysterious, and and then the last episode, it falls flat on its face. The way it ended was like. Yeah. Brilliant, but yeah, lots of twists, lots of turns. Very good show. So I'm back and watching it.
I started watching Gypsy on Netflix.
Any good?
It's a therapist who is married and got a kid, but she gets really involved with clients in the sense of like one of them, his girlfriend broke up with him, and she goes and finds the girl and starts having a relationship with her.
Right.
And then like she has another client who's a mum, and and her daughter doesn't want to spend time with her or anything like that, and she's really funny about it. And she goes and spends time with her daughter. It's weird. It's okay. I'm not loving it, but it's okay to feel there's times where you can't.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, if we're gonna start. Don't know what I was about to say there. If we're going to talk about shows that we just started watching recently that's come out, Defenders. I've just started watching that.
I'm 1.5 in.
Yeah, I won't ruin any storyline, but yeah, I've started watching that. It's pretty good. Bit boring. I've compared to all the other. I think it's out of all the other shows that they've released, it's the worst one. I'd say, sadly, out of
what, even Iron Fist. I haven't watched Iron Fist because I don't listen to reviews, but if every single review is saying how shit it is, then like I just won't watch it. But if there's people saying like, oh, it's good, oh, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, it's good, I'll just give it a watch. But when the general consensus around the show is
that it's bad,
I'm just like what? Like there's a reason that isn't opinion. That is like, that's not opinion. I'm not going to rush, and I haven't seen it. I just haven't sat down and watched it.
Iron Fist. I don't know. Like Iron Fist was alright. It started very slow, very boring. A bit nothing really to it or to the character, and then it got really good in the middle, really interesting, and was kind of like, oh, this is a bit different. Don't get me wrong, nowhere near as good as Daredevil, Jessica Jones, or Luke Cage, but it was still right. I mean, the character I think is brilliant. Just the storyline was a bit worse. But Iron Fist himself, the actual actor who plays him, the guy who plays Danny Rand, really good actor. I'm really can't fault his performance. He's brilliant. But the writing's really it's really boring. Yeah. The whole idea of obviously I can ruin Iron Fist a bit more than I can Defenders because that's been out for ages now. Iron Fist, yeah. But the whole thing about him using the fist and he has to summon the chi to use it. Literally, he's constantly in fights and he never uses the fist. So the whole premise of his character is pointless. It's like having a character who can shoot guns out of their eyeballs, but they don't use it unless they're fighting a boss or something. That's what it felt like. It was like, oh, I can't summon my chi unless I really, really need to, because it drains my energy. Kind of. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but then why have a character that has that ability? That's like Luke Cage saying, I'm bulletproof, but only when I want to be. It's pointless. Yeah. So,
what's your favourite series?
Out of all of them, out of those groups?
Yeah.
The Daredevil.
Really?
Or Jessica Jones.
Luke Cage was my favourite of all of them.
Really? I thought that was my lead. I think that was
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and then Daredevil.
Really? I really enjoyed Daredevil. Especially second season with the Punisher. That was brilliant. But I wasn't a massive... I don't know. I thought Jessica Jones was one of those ones where, again, started really well. It was quite interesting. And then... bit boring in the middle, got a bit repetitive of the whole Hellgrave. Is it Hellgrave?
Yeah.
Kilgrave. Kilgrave, that's it. The whole Kilgrave thing.
He's back in season 2.
I don't get it. I don't even want to.
Well, it'll be like no, but you have to. It does make sense in this stage because he fucked her up massively. Like he controlled her, and and she's fucked up because of it. So it does make sense. Hopefully he's not in it because obviously she killed him. But
you haven't seen Iron Fist, have you?
No.
You know the Hand, who Daredevil fight. Iron Fist is all about him fighting the Hand. Like,
that's the thing. I didn't get that when I was actually watching the Defenders. I watched the first episode. It was him talking about the Hand. I was like,
his entire series is about that, and then he finds out they can resurrect people. So I wouldn't be surprised if they resurrect Kilgrave. And he's part of the Hand, and they resurrect him. I would not be surprised, not even remotely.
I always thought that he was really OP.
Yeah, massively.
But all we had to do was wear headphones.
Yeah.
Right, let's blast through some topics. We do quite a lot.
Yeah, we spent 40 minutes in talking about Game of Thrones.
35 minutes in talking about Game of Thrones. It's okay. So Godzilla vs Kong will have a definitive winner, and it's also going to be a dark movie. I feel like it has to have a definitive winner. I thought that was just,
Is it what? So that's been announced.
What?
Are you saying will it have a definitive winner, or it will have?
It has been announced that they have a definitive winner.
So obviously that's going to be Kong, right? Because Kong's supposed to be seen as like the friendly one who wants to sort of help humans. Like the entire King Kong film, or Skull Island or whatever, he saves the humans from the things you kind of go, oh, Kong, he fought for us and all that kind of shit. Even though the original King Kong, he got killed on top of the skyscraper.
I really liked Kong actually.
Skull Island. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a visually.
The bit I didn't like was the whole fucking Tom Hiddleston
in
running.
The smoke with this sword. That was so.
But it's also going to be a dark movie. I've lost faith in this. It's going to be a dark film. As soon as Jurassic World came out, that's going to be really scary. It's going to challenge Alien.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
What about Jurassic World?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess that depends.
Yeah.
On what they're cooking up in that lab.
For fuck's sake. So the Uncharted movie has got the same director as Stranger Things, and now at the museum is starring Tom Holland, as a young Drake. What do you think? I haven't played I've seen my dad play Uncharted, but I haven't played it myself.
I've seen people play it. It looks really good, but it just seems like a Tomb Raider rip-off. But to be fair, you can't rip off a game that wasn't original. Like if it was an Xbox original game, because obviously Uncharted's PlayStation only. If you had like an Xbox original game, like if they say Tomb Raider was only on Xbox, you could kind of say, oh well, Uncharted's a rip-off just to make their own version on the PlayStation.
Right.
But it feels like Uncharted is just a rip-off in general because it's only on PlayStation, but there's no exclusive on Xbox that's the same. So it's obviously not a direct rip-off to try and steal sales away from that console. But Uncharted in general, it feels like it's like a cross between Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, like Lara Croft. Yeah. That's what it feels like. I think it looks quite cool. I don't like I didn't know that Stranger Things had the same director as Night at the Museum. Two very different opinions on what he's done through his career. Stranger Things, amazing. Night at the Museum, not so good.
Wonder Woman has passed 800 million worldwide.
I'm really glad that film did well. I think DC needed a film to really do well because all the other ones have been shit. However, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I honestly, it doesn't really do much to me. Like
I didn't go out of my way to see it only because it was DC. If Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman were films that were actually decent and worth watching, I would have been straight in the cinema to see Wonder Woman. But I lost all faith after Suicide Squad came out because Batman vs Superman for me was, I mean, we spoke about this before, so I won't go into it too much. But Batman vs Superman to me was like a massive blue balls of, oh, it's going to be a really good film, and then it was awful. And then Suicide Squad came out, and I was like, oh man, Suicide Squad, you got Will Smith, you've got Cara Delevingne, which meh, but you got Margot Robbie, you've got some really good actors, really good characters, Deadshot and Harlequin and the Joker. You've got what's his name from who played the Joker from 30 Seconds to Mars?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. You've got these really good actors. This is going to be great. Started off quite interesting. Didn't like how it was edited, but oh man, this film's good. It's just got some really grit to it. Deadshot, what a fantastic opening for him, where you see that he's a mercenary that makes his own rules, and then you see him get arrested by Batman. It's like, oh, that's cool. It shows a bit of backstory between them two. Maybe there's a bit of dialogue that comes out later with Batman, and then it's like, and then here's Slipknot, and there goes Slipknot, and then oh, here's the fight, there goes the fight, and the Cara Delevingne and the soldiers bit is just like a mashup of just shit story, and then it's just like, oh, and here's the big evil guy, and he's dead. It was
well, Suicide Squad did suck, but Wonder Woman, so it passed 800 million worldwide, but Spider-Man has passed $780 million.
Oh man, that film was great. I loved Homecoming.
We spoke about that. We spoke about that in the last
week.
podcast. Anyway, Avengers and the Defenders won't cross over.
Kind of glad.
I feel like I like references.
Yeah.
I want there to be like a nod in Avengers to the Defenders, because the Defenders always nod to the Avengers.
Yeah.
So like maybe if they go like, oh, should we call in the Defenders? And they go, no, this isn't. Or I don't know, like, oh, like, should we call in the Defenders? And then they say like,
they'll probably say something. They've got their hands full protecting New York.
They've got their hands full with the hand.
Well, yeah, because I would have. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if in the Avengers film they leave Earth anyway to go and fight Thanos on a different planet. So I wouldn't be surprised if when they're leaving Earth, that someone says, "Oh, are you sure we can leave Earth unprotected?" And then hopefully there'll be some kind of nod like it's not unprotected. They've got the Defenders, or they've got the X-Men, or something within the Marvel universe that they'll reference to say we can leave and it's in good hands. But who knows? I mean, I'm glad it won't cross over, because I think it'd be a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish that they would, as you said, at least acknowledge their existence, because otherwise it's like, well, it's not like Tony Stark wouldn't hear about these characters in New York doing this and that, like Daredevil, like it's all over the newspapers, and Luke Cage, you've got a guy who's completely bulletproof and super strong. I mean, to the point where I think Iron Man would have quite a cool fight with Luke Cage, really. But other with his lack
would be cool. Quickly, what's Jessica Jones' superpower?
See, this is what annoys me. I thought she's got super strength, hasn't she?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she's never seemed to do anything useful.
Jessica Jones' superpowers.
She's supposed to have super strength.
She drinks. After coming in contact with experimental chemicals, spending time in a coma, Jessica emerged with She possesses superhuman strength as well as flight, and is known to block mind control because of her strength.
So she can fly. We knew about the mind control.
No, she flies in season 1, didn't she?
When?
She like drops down. No, sorry, she jumps up. Sorry. Look, she jumps up she walks out of her apartment and jumps up onto the railings.
Nah.
Here we go.
This is her talking about her powers, though.
Exactly.
Well, she probably doesn't even know. If Marvel can't write it into the script properly, she doesn't probably really know what's going on. She was in Breaking Bad, weren't she? She was the Jesse's girlfriend that OD'd on the bed. I don't think we can play this audio and probably get copyrighted.
Isn't she really jumping? Isn't it more of a hard jump? Yeah.
Oh, so...
Yeah, it's more like big jumping.
She has no idea what... She has no idea. He was like, is it like hard jumping? Yeah, hard jump. Yeah,
that's a good way to explain it.
Yeah, hard jump, yeah.
So, I don't remember that scene where she jumped, but I'm sure
she kind of jumps up to the... when she sits outside Luke Cage's restaurant or bar, she jumps up onto the railings.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got?
So she's super strong and she can kind of jump high, but she never uses the jump other than that one time, and she seems to always bitch out the strength.
Has she not used it yet in Defenders?
Yeah, no, she has. She had a really cool
jump?
scene where she used... No, not the jump. She had a really cool scene where she used her super strength.
The other problem is Luke Cage has got super strength.
Yeah, Luke Cage is literally bulletproof Jessica Jones. He's super strength and he's bulletproof. He's like the better... So he makes her completely irrelevant. She's there for her character, not for her powers.
Right.
Meh, it's all right.
Okay. Christopher Nolan sunk an IMAX camera to simulate a plane crashing into water. He put he catapulted a IMAX camera inside of a plane. So sorry, the IMAX camera was inside of a plane, and they catapulted the plane off a boat.
Yeah.
To kind of get that crashing scene.
Did it destroy the camera?
No, the camera's fine. But I just thought that was really cool.
That's
about
awesome.
I
love Christopher
Nolan. You can't. He does go out of his way to do it.
When you've got the money to do it, bro, I think that's awesome.
Conjuring universe has passed 1 billion. That's incredible for a horror franchise. Funnily
enough, I haven't seen the first Conjuring movie or the
any of them?
second one. No. Well, I've seen the. I've seen right. So, I watched The Conjuring 2 today, which is quite weird. I actually watched the entire film today around Tom's. at my friend's house. But
Oh, who's Tom? Oh, I know Tom. Yeah, good.
yeah, me, Lawrence, and that watched it today. But yeah, no. So I watched Conjuring 2 today, but I've never seen Conjuring 1, and I've only seen the first Annabelle, and I know the second one's just come out.
Conjuring 1 and 2, well, 1 was the scariest thing I've ever seen in cinema. I went with a group of friends when it first came out, and I'm a pissy with horror films. I'm so bad with them. What I did was I watched it at home.
Oh, but before you
I
went...
watched a cam copy before I went, so I knew when on the scary bits were, so I wouldn't jump.
Oh, that's a new level.
But that didn't help, because it was a completely different film, and I sat in that fucking film. I forgot all about the film that I'd watched. I had no idea what I was watching, and I was still fucking jumping, and everyone was laughing at me. Didn't do a single bit of fucking good, that did. So I just scared myself twice.
You should never admit that now.
Nah,
I mean, it's
bro,
on camera for eternity now,
Yeah,
but you should never
nah,
admit
it's
that.
just learn from my mistakes. Kong director wants a crazy punk rock Metal Gear film. Metal Gear Solid film. He wants a crazy hard punk rock.
Nah, I don't know how it would work. Metal
I don't know
Gear.
why I drunk at that. I thought that was water. If you can see it, I thought that was water. So nothing came out. I hate glasses like that. Sorry.
Sorry.
So for audio listeners, shitty glasses here. And
there's a glass, and for some reason they decided to end at the bottom, and it looks like it's water.
Have you played Metal Gear Solid?
I have, yeah. I've played.
I haven't, so I don't know what it is.
No, really good games, like really, really good games. But they're very niche in the way that they work, and it's all based around stealth. And everyone knows Metal Gear for like the cardboard box where he hides and stuff. I honestly feel like it'd work better as a comedy film, because I don't see a serious Metal Gear Solid film being interesting in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't see how they're going to do it. It's, there's no. I mean, Metal Gear. I mean, maybe the original ones, but Metal Gear Solid is a very strange game, especially the newest one that's just come out. There's flying whales and all kinds of weird shit in the opening of Metal Gear Solid, the new one, is weird, and I feel like the film would only do well for the fans of the series.
Yeah.
It would only sell.
There's not much going for it.
Like Ghost in the Shell, that film apparently was really bad for people that like the comics or the anime or whatever it is. That follow it and liked it before hated this adaptation of film.
Yeah, but isn't it because she was meant to be Asian, but it was Scarlett Johansson?
I have no idea, dude. All I know is what I heard is people that loved the anime hated the movie, right. But everyone that had never seen it before said, "Oh, this movie's pretty good," but it didn't do that well because they were trying to cater just to the people that were fans of the series already.
Yeah,
and then none of those people liked it, so. I feel like Metal Gear would do the exact same thing. I feel like they'd get the casting wrong, or they'd get the storyline would be crap and pointless.
So last week we said about the woman dying on the Deadpool 2 set.
Yeah.
So there's a statement been released of what happened. She was driving a motorcycle out of the open doors of a building across a concrete pad and down a ramp that had been built over 3 stairs and coming to a stop on the stair landing. During the first shooting of the scene, the stunt driver continued driving beyond the planned stopping spot on the stairway landing and continued to drive down a second ramp built over the bottom stairs and across the road. The motorcycle struck the concrete sidewalk curb, and the worker was thrown off the motorcycle and propelled through a plate glass window of the building.
Shit.
They landed her in it. That's her fault. That's a ballsy statement.
That statement is saying it's her fault. Yeah, that's to protect their insurance, basically.
Yeah, but that's that
for the family.
That must be true. That must be what happened. They're not going to make it up to cover their asses. But if that happened, why the fuck did she not just stop at the planned spot?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I know people are saying, "Oh, well, it doesn't have to be true. It could be a conspiracy." But on a film set, there's usually hundreds of people there on a day, witnesses. The chances of that filming company going around and making everyone sign waivers to say you can't say what actually happened, or we fire you.
Exactly.
People would make more money in a scandal releasing it. Do you know what I mean? Like if they said, "Don't say anything, or we fire you," those workers are probably making, let's say a sound guy makes $100,000 for doing a film. I'm not sure what they charge, but I can't imagine it's much more than that for being a sound guy that's recording it with a boom mic operator or something. Maybe probably not even that. I'm probably exaggerating massively, but probably like $50,000 or whatever. But if he then signed this waiver to not say anything and he was going to lose his job, if he went to the papers and said, I'll tell you the truth, he could make millions. They'd pay millions for that story to say a witness witnessed it. So it's a bug. A witness witnessed it, and what actually happened was failure of health and safety. So yeah, I reckon that's actually what happened, and
they would come out and compensate the family before they come.
They'll do it, and they'll do that anyway. I mean, the family would be like there'll be a grievance, but I tell you what, from an insurance background, and we deal with injuries and things all the time. With regards to payouts, someone when the person dies, it is 10 times cheaper than if they survive the accident. Because if they survive the accident, they can't work again, especially being a stunt woman. Let's say she lost a leg. They would have to pay for the care of her being in a wheelchair for the rest of her life, or on crutches, or with a fake leg. They would have to pay for her fees of being a stunt woman because that's her career over. They would have to pay for any adaptations to her house, if she has to have medicine, if she's depressed, all that they have to pay for. So a claim that would come to millions and millions and millions of pounds or dollars to pay for the rest of her life, her care and whatever, for losing that limb. Whereas if she dies, they just give the family a flat fee. Like usually it can be as low as like 10 grand, or it might be like a year's worth of her wages. So let's say a couple hundred grand, and that's it. That's all I pay out. And that's like compared to like 10, 15 million. It's nothing. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I've only just seen Wonder Woman has passed the original Spider-Man's grossing at the box office, becoming the #1 superhero origin film.
What about the first Iron Man? Is that an origin film? Oh no, I suppose it's not, is it? Because is it? So it's an origin film, a film where you find out about how they became that character.
Yeah.
Well then, surely the first Iron Man.
So this is the order it goes in:
damn.
Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, Iron Man, Man of Steel, Amazing Spider-Man, Batman,
Doctor Strange. That's pretty cool. That did number 10. Big Hero 6. It's not really Marvel. I suppose it's not a superhero origin, isn't it? Batman Begins.
TMNT.
Thor. Ant-Man.
I fucking hate the amount of love that Suicide Squad got. Shit, it's bull crap.
It was an awful film. But yeah, I like that. I'm glad DC finally have a good film, and I'm glad Wonder Woman did well, because I think the actress that plays her is amazing. Like, amazing. She's so attractive.
Ridiculous.
I think she's a great actress as well, and I think the theme they made for the song was perfect. It gets you going, and I think it just looks right. I mean, I'm gutted that I never got to see that film in the cinema, but I can't wait for it to come out on DVD so I can watch it.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and I mean, has anything been released about the new Mad Max, the next one that's coming out?
No, it's about Furiosa, right?
No, it'd be about Max, hopefully.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No, it's called it's called.
No, they're not doing another one about.
It's called. I really want to see the film in black and white. He released it in the cinemas in black and white.
Yeah, they're doing that, aren't they? Because that the new Mad Max is brilliant, and that was the original director that did the old Mad Max films of Mel Gibson. Hence why, and the bad guy in this Mad Max film, in the Fury Road, was the same bad guy from the first Mad Max film, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you've got the same actors, and you've got the same director, and that's why it's so gritty, and all the cars are real, and a lot of the stunts and a lot of the explosions are real. Brilliant. Honestly, what a just delightful film to watch at the cinema. You can just switch off and watch this phenomenal visual orgasm. It's the only way I can explain Mad Max Fury Road. So I hope. Well, the only thing I didn't like was the fact that Max wasn't in it enough for me. It's but Mad Max, but it was more about Furiosa.
Yeah.
I felt so. I to me at the time, I thought, well, they've done that to ease you into Tom Hardy playing Mad Max instead of Mel Gibson, and like ease you into that character and that new role. But if that's true about, it's going to be about Furiosa the next one, then what was the point?
I'm sure I read it somewhere. It was.
I hope not.
But that's how Movies and TVs concluded. As GFA said at the beginning, if you have any comments or anything like that, chuck us a message on Twitch. If GFA can't answer it, he can text me and I'll answer it the best I can as well. But GFA will be watching the stream as we. So you're going to just stream it from your screen.
Yeah, I'll set it up so it streams live,
and
then I'll be in the chat. I'll be watching it. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to games. PlayerUnknown has hit 8 million units sold.
What game?
And it's also announced for Xbox One, being published by Microsoft PC.
I'm not fussed about that. It's quite cool. It's coming to consoles. I think
the trailer really faked it, didn't it?
They released a trailer for it, and
nothing like what
it's been. I wouldn't say it's been missold, because I don't think it has, because the gameplay is the gameplay. But
if you're a gamer and you haven't had a PlayerUnknown, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, imagine Minecraft showing how the game plays, but then shaping it to look like an open world. Well, it is an open world. I was going to say RPG, but it's a building game, isn't it?
Yeah.
But imagine it shaping it to make it look like Mass Effect, where you go around and getting quests from villagers. Wait, you can do that, can't you?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about then. Let's change.
Talking about building games. Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh,
we watched a few trailers.
I found
before
out.
We started. We watched this, PlayerUnknown, and Assassin's Creed Origin.
I literally found out about that Jurassic World game 5 minutes before we started recording this podcast.
And
And I'm so excited because anyone that played Operation Genesis was the original.
Was it on
Xbox One? No, Xbox Original.
No, I played a game on PS2.
It'll be a Xbox Original and PlayStation 2 at the same sort of time. See, it was on there.
Operation Genesis. And I spent ages trying to find a hack so that you could get more than you for some reason you had to choose between like 3 different places to get certain dinosaurs.
So did you put your like, research?
Yeah, I tried to find a hack that you can do more than 3, but there wasn't one that was available. So there's a new one coming out, summer 2018.
I mean that is depressing. I've got to wait a year for it.
Operation Genesis was probably one of my favourite games on the PS2.
I would honestly say one of my favourite games ever. Operation Genesis.
Just
what a brilliant game.
You used to drive around as well,
and you could
zoom in. It's probably shit now because considering the.
I played it about a year ago because me and Tom went and bought out Tom and Lawrence went and bought an Xbox Original console, and then we bought Operation Genesis, Conflict, and Sims busting out some rubbish.
Did you ever play Spartan Total Warrior?
No, I played Total War, Spartan Total War, never Total Warrior.
Total War, is it Total War?
Total Warrior was to come up.
Yeah, that one. Look at this shit. It was fucking incredible.
I remember like Spyro. That looks like Dynasty Warriors, but that looks exactly like Dynasty Warriors.
But I used to like.
That's a rip off of Dynasty Warriors.
No, it's not. When did Dynasty Warriors come out?
Wait, well, what year did that come out? 2003. 2005. I tell you what, Dynasty Warriors came out way before that. Surely the first Dynasty Warriors.
1997.
Yeah. Dude,
that don't look the same.
No, it's identical. The hit counter, identical.
Yeah, it does.
But honestly, yeah, but if that, looking at that, it's literally the identical game. I know exactly where you're coming from saying it's a good game. Dynasty Warriors was co-op as well. You could like ride horses together and build up. Oh, that was a
so Jurassic World, that's a big thing for us. It was at the Microsoft convention, so it'll probably be on PC, hopefully. If not, I will most likely have to buy an Xbox One to play it.
Oh, has it not been announced on PC yet, Jurassic World?
Not as far as I know. Let's have a look.
Because if that's the case, then we should go halves on a PlayStation 4 and buy days. No, get a PlayStation.
But it's not on PlayStation.
Oh, is it only on Xbox? Yeah. Oh, we'll have to get both things. So I want to play a Days Gone as well.
I think we should rent. Can you rent? You can rent.
They're not expensive anyway these days.
You can rent camera gear. Well, my dad and sister's got a PS4.
Oh, well, then we'll just grab an Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, imagine being able to go to Blockbuster and rent.
Blockbuster, rest in peace, bro. You can rent games
God! Have you seen the? There's a Blockbuster Twitter account that's still being used called the Lone Block. Is it the Lone Blockbuster? Yeah. So I'll go for some of them. We never would have signed up for Career Day if we knew they were going to stick our booth in the freshman nerd hallway. There was a really funny one. Will someone come and watch the store for an hour? Wanda brought her drone and we want to take it down by the quarry.
These are like recent. These were literally like 3 days ago.
We were here when you were born and we'll be here when you die under mysterious circumstances. The most common question we get asked is, what are your shelves made of? It's wood. Literally, there's certain, like, Carl and I were just laughing.
Are they completely shut down, Blockbuster? Are they gone?
There's some in America. If you're going to whip donuts in the parking lot, at least put your hazards on. We're watching Titanic and the boobs part starts in like 15 minutes if you guys want to get down here. It's just they're just really funny. Like some of the ones,
it was such a good.
It's never too early to start your holiday shopping.
Oh, I remember just.
How about instead of buying a bunch of fidget spinners, you buy one fidget spinner and rent a couple movies?
Oh, it's just the days of sitting there wanting a game and just going down the shop and renting a game. The nuts.
We love your replies, but unfortunately, replies don't pay the rent. Let's have a look. What was I on that I found out all about the? Was it GameSpot?
But yeah, I think I will have to pick up a console to play Jurassic World if it's only on Xbox One, because I need to play that game. I mean, what a game! What Operation Genesis was amazing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they do all kinds of like weird
themed Xbox.
They do loads of themed Xbox Ones now. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. I mean, it's just a skin. So it's just literally the exact same thing, just with a different skin, and they customise the sounds when you turn it on and off. So it'd be like a zombie going, or whatever, or a creeper going.
So the people that made Planet Coaster are making Jurassic World Evolution.
Aren't they the same people that made Genesis? And I suppose that company went out of business, I'd imagine, by this point. As most game companies do after like 15 years.
I don't actually remember seeing it anywhere. Jurassic World Evolution, Xbox One. Don't say anything about PC.
Yeah. That will boost Xbox sales, I'll tell you that much.
Really? A management game? No one can manage these majestic creatures. I thought the movie already taught us that.
Silly humans.
Oh, please be like Operation Genesis 2.
That's exactly what everyone wants, isn't it? Everyone just wants an Operation Genesis version,
Yeah.
like basically remastered. If they brought out Operation Genesis,
Far Cry made a dinosaur game. That'd be sick.
What, like Primal?
Yeah. No, that's like tigers and shit, bro.
Is it? Has it not got dinosaurs in it?
No, it's got like.
I swear, there's dinosaurs in Primal, or like some kind, not dinosaurs, but there's mammoths and shit.
Yeah, but it's not dinosaurs.
No, but they're like, you know, it's just after. It's like the first humans when dinosaurs had just died, and it's like cavemen and big fucking.
Fuck is that? Oh.
Big creatures, at least.
Yeah, but they're not.
No, you're right. They're not dinosaurs.
Yeah,
But I mean, don't give them ideas, because Far Cry are going to keep churning games out just like Assassin's Creed every freaking year. So.
Yeah. And then the new Assassin's Creed Origin, we've already explained in the first podcast, or it's in the last podcast, that we.
It's in the last podcast.
Is it in the last podcast?
It's one of the lost ones.
One of them looks like you just have to watch it if you really, really care about our opinion about Assassin's Creed. I wouldn't if I was you, but go ahead and watch them anyway. I don't give a fuck. Really, bottom line, it's just boring.
I've completely lost all interest in Assassin's Creed.
I did see a cool theory actually online. The reason you can jump from things into hay bales and do all this OP shit that you couldn't do in real life is because the animus is only there to see what it wants to see, so it doesn't care what happens, so it just lets you do how you can take on like 60 people with one guy with a sword is because it wants you to get to the next place, so it just lets you do it. I thought it was a pretty cool theory. That's what I just saw anyway. Did you see Assassin's Creed film?
No.
Good. I didn't see it.
I couldn't sit through it. Like I really like Michael Fassbender. I think he's a good actor, but he's done 2 films recently, Assassin's Creed being one of them and Alien Covenant being the other one, that I just couldn't care less if he never acted again, because both those films were just abysmal. Yeah. And his acting was good in them, but he played roles that are just pointless. And anyone that's seen Alien Covenant that likes the Alien series will just completely just. What a awful film.
Yeah. So that's games covered. We'll move on to some questions. We have been streaming for an hour and 3 minutes now, so we will get into the questions. We're not going to spend too long on them. Try and get through them. What is the most embarrassing thing you have seen someone doing because they thought nobody was watching?
Oh, that changes things a little bit, because they thought no one was watching.
Well, yeah, because
yeah.
mine would have to be. When I was on Santa Monica Pier, there was a girl who had an ice cream in her hand and was taking pictures of the sunset that was by the sea. And then she's like this. And then she put her shit down and she was looking around, and then she licked her phone. And not her ice cream. But so she went she licked it and then kind of looked around, looked at me, and I was looking at her. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, and then she just kind of nodded at me and then turned away again.
Yep, you witnessed that.
Yeah, be quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, That's mine.
Because they thought no one was watching. Probably, I saw It's gonna sound like a peeping Tom, but I was
this girl was sitting in her hedges in her garden.
So I was looking for some binoculars, and I was on the way back from work. There's a bus stop. Well, I get a bus, and opposite that there's a shop, like a barber's, and above that there's a room, and that room is always got its curtains closed, and it's always like it looks like it's some sort of business, and I think it's a pole dancing or some sort of strip club up there, because I've seen like a pole going to the ceiling, and I've seen a pair of legs go around it before. I'm like, right, something's going on in that room, but because it's obviously higher up an elevator, I can just see the top of the pole. But one time I full on saw someone just like, it was a bloke in the window, he's fully clothed, but he was like dancing to some headphones, and he must have thought the curtains were closed behind him, because he was proper going for it, facing away from the window, and then he's turned around and just looked down and just seen those people and just drawn the curtains really quickly, and I was like, he must feel so embarrassed because he's just been dancing in front of the window, bless him.
If you could know the answer to any unsolved mystery, what would it be and why?
Oh, that is a really good question. An unsolved mystery. So I think I'll stay away from any like UFO or any unanswered government stuff, because that's not really an unanswered mystery. That's just they're not telling us what the truth is.
Yeah.
An unanswered mystery. I'd say like a disappearance story. Like, what was the name? Something Rosehart. Oh, a woman that flew across the world. Quickly Google the name. It's Amanda Rosehart. Amanda something Hart. Amanda something Hart. It's just Amanda. Type in Amanda Hart. Oh, what was her name?
What happened?
She disappeared. She was trying to fly around the world. Her plane disappeared, and no one.
Amanda Earhart.
That's it. She was going to attempt to fly solo across. Was it across the world? Or just across? This was like
Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, this was 1937. So planes were like fairly new. I mean, obviously not. They were been about, obviously World War One. We had biplanes, and that was like 1918, 1916 kind of time, and then World War Two we had like things like the Spitfires, the single prop planes, and towards the end of World War Two is when the jet engines started coming in, like the Meteor and the English Electric Lightning. So it's sort of that kind of era when the planes were sort of on their way to becoming a much more commercial. And she attempted to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, it said there. I thought it was around the world, but whatever. She was going to fly a long distance on her own, completely on her own. And she was going to be the first person to do it. And she's like a big pioneering thing for women, because bear in mind, this is the same kind of time where things like the suffragettes and were about, when they were trying to get women voting rights. So it's quite a big step for a woman to go and set this record, and she's going to try and fly solo across the world.
Yeah. And
she just disappeared into thin air. Her plane was never found. Body was never found.
Reading a couple of theories, Japanese captured her.
Oh, there's loads. There's loads of theories that she was shot down, that she was captured. She landed on an island somewhere, and she was captured by the Japanese, and she was talked. I mean, either way, she'll be dead now, because how obviously it's getting on to like 90 years, or it's been 80 years, bang on. But it's one of those things. It's like a mystery that we will never know. And I think anything like that, any plane story. What was that MH303 or whatever, that plane that went missing in 2014?
That would be no, but then I feel like it's just they've just gone down. That's all. That must be all it is. Like what
they've crashed in the ocean, the fuselage been lost yet. I mean that makes sense. Obviously, like
there's 80% of the sea hasn't been.
Oh yeah, we know literally nothing about, let alone space travel. Everyone's like, oh, we need to go to Mars. And
I feel like we need to go to there could be like megalodons down there.
Yeah, we talk about aliens living on other planets. We could have aliens living under the ocean, hence like the film The Abyss. But yeah, I mean, I think space travel is more important, because going into the ocean doesn't give us a way out if our planet is on a collision course with a meteor that we can do nothing about. If the world's going to be destroyed, for example. Or what is it, a meteor, or a what do you call it, a comet or whatever. If our planet is destined to be destroyed and there's nothing we can do about it, obviously if it's like 150 years in the future, we've invested into space travel, we've got civilizations on Mars or whatever other planet, and we've made it inhabitable, like we've basically colonized it, then we could always at that point get all the civilian, have a massive evacuation from Earth and move planets in a way. and evacuate all the important people off. But I feel like that's more important to keep humanity going than searching our own oceans, because that's not going to do us any favours. But things like the cure to cancer, they could find a special plant down there, harvest it, and there's medicine that will cure cancer or Parkinson's. So there's so many reasons to always investigate your own planet, and it's a shame that the ocean is just so vast.
You just can't.
It's just impossible.
I don't know what mine would be. Probably the sea.
And
just to know more about it.
Yeah,
because it is odd that we, as you said, we're going around space. We're flying ships miles away, but yet we haven't even explored the sea.
It's hard for us because it gets to a point where we can't take the pressure, and we have to build a submarine that can go all the way to the depth. And we've made it far. Like James Cameron's been. The director has been the furthest down. He went in a submarine and he went down to a depth to a point where one of the windows started to crack, and it was like, oh god, we have to go back up now. And that was the deepest a human's ever been.
Can't lose James Cameron after all the promises he's got for Avatar.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then the last one to kind of cheer us up: if you could fill North Korea's nukes with anything but nuclear power, what would you fill it with?
So when it hit and exploded, just loads of that stuff came out.
I want to say something immature like dildos, because that'd be funny.
Well, I was going to say something food related, to be honest with you. It's like loads of.
Have you seen those? Like, I don't know about. Most likely it's America, but I've seen online that you can ship glitter to people, so that when they open up the letter, glitter falls out and it goes everywhere. But like loads of it.
You can also do it of whole shit.
Yeah, and there's like in the letter it says, I hope you're happy knowing that you'll live a life where you've pissed someone off so much that they've actually paid to have a glitter bomb. But yeah, so we have been streaming for about an hour and 12 minutes. So we'll end it here. As we said, just to clarify on the beginning, this is pre-recorded. Maybe chuck up a banner.
Yeah, I'll chuck up some sort of message, probably up here somewhere, and it'll just say pre-recorded, whatever.
But we will be listening in. You will be in, and you can ask me any question. It will be live on Twitch, and obviously it will be up on Apple, iTunes, and SoundCloud as well. Yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. Catch us this Wednesday playing something. Probably it's most likely be a horror game this time around.
Yeah.
To try and scare some of us. We'll work out how our headphones are going to work.
Oh yeah, I know that how they work.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we've done that. So we'll probably play a horror game. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You can close it out.
Yeah. What he said. Thanks for watching, guys.
Right, cheers, guys.
See you next week.